So, hello everybody. Today we are going to make roasted butternut squash and carrot soup. Very, very simple, fantastic for this time of year, coming into the autumn, really hearty, warming soup and incredibly easy to make. So let's go through the ingredients that we're going to use. So right here, we've got our carrots. We've obviously got our delicious squash, very underused, this vegetable. And we've also got onions, garlic, we've got stock, some milk, salt and pepper. And then to finish, to garnish, we're going to use some sage, which I'm going to crisp up in a pan. We've got some almonds, pumpkin seeds, a little bit of cumin, and also a little bit of yogurt. Sounds like a lot, but it finishes it off beautifully. So let's get started. I'm going to use my lovely Ninja knife to get me going, and we're just going to take the ends off the squash. Now, the reason we do this is because actually it's quite dangerous to cut a squash because they're quite difficult to cut. So we're just going to cut that down through the middle, all the way down. And then we're just going to take those few seeds that you see here and that sort of pulse area there out with a spoon. You can take a peeler, and with your peeler, we're just going to peel the rind off. Now, just be careful how you do this, but it's much simpler than actually using a knife. So just simply peel what you've got here, the rind off. And you're going to do the same with your carrots. And then once you've done that, we're going to roast them in the oven with some olive oil, salt and pepper, because that's what gives it all that lovely flavour for your hearty soup. So I've peeled all my vegetables and I'm just going to chop them, pop them on a baking sheet with some olive oil and some salt and pepper, and then pop them in the oven about 180 to give them a really nice roast, to give them lots of flavour. So I've got half an onion, so just roughly just chop it. Carrots the same, just chop them up until you've got sort of all similar sort of sizes. I've got some garlic, 4 cloves of garlic. I'm going to pop those in there as well. And then I've got my lovely squash again, which is quite hard work to cut, but it's worth it. And then literally all of this just goes onto a baking tray. If one baking tray is not big enough, don't panic, put them on 2. There we go. Quick, quick, quick. Very, very easy. We're going to pop some olive oil, just a nice drizzle of olive oil over the top. And then we're also going to pop some salt. I like to use sea salt because it's got a really nice flavour. And then some pepper. So we're going to take our trays like that, and we're going to pop them in the oven. So I'm taking my lovely Ninja pan, and I just need to turn my flaked almonds so that they're lovely and toasted and slightly golden brown. There we go, they're pretty much done now. And I've got a handful of sage leaves, and I'm going to fry those in some vegetable oil so that they're nice and crispy to go on top of the soup. So I've taken my roasted butternut squash out, and as you can see, it's all sort of lovely caramelized. It's going to bring out the lovely flavour of that butternut squash and my onions and my carrots and my garlic. So once you've done this stage, we now use the fabulous Ninja blender soup maker, which I've got here. So we're just going to load this up, take the lid off. We're going to put all our lovely roasted vegetables into the soup maker right now. So once they're in there, we're now going to add our vegetable stock. So that's 750 mils of that. And then I've got some milk as well. And we're going to pop that in like that. And I'm just going to add a tiny bit of cumin just to give it a nice sort of lift of flavour. Just a little bit of cumin. And that is as simple as that. We're going to pop the lid on, and that just closes nice and neatly. So we're going to turn this on, and it even says hello to you. We're going to press the smooth soup function on the Ninja blender soup maker, and it takes 30 minutes to complete. Now, if you want to get anything that I have used, the knives, the frying pans, the blender, and much more from Ninja, just go to the QVC website. So our soup is ready. Just going to remove the lid. Look at the steam coming out of that. It's a fantastic colour, smells delicious, but you look how silky this is. When I pour this out, it's unbelievably smooth and silky every single time. And that's the beauty of the Ninja Soup Maker. Just look at that. Now we're just going to cut some lovely bread. Pop that on there like that. And we'll use our garnishes that we did earlier. So let's bring that over here. Now, I've got some yoghurt that I'm going to pop over the top. Then we toasted some almonds in our Ninja frying pan. Then we're going to pop a few pumpkin seeds. It all adds colour and texture. And then last but not least, we're going to pop a few nice crispy sage leaves on the top. And look at that. Easy to make, absolutely delicious. Our roasted butternut squash and carrot soup.